Create a new package with npm init-y. Now install Fastify, Fastify Passport, and Fastify Secure Session. Fastify Secure Session is used by Fastify Passport to store encrypted data on the client side. Next, create an entry point for the application index.js. Now, create a basic Hello World Fastify app. We can run our app with node. And check localhost 3000 to check that Fastify is set up correctly. This example uses Google OAuth 2. Next, we need to register the Fastify Secure Session plugin. And we can generate a secret key with the function in node modules bin secure session gen key. However, this does not work on Windows currently, but I've put a sample key download in the description to help you get started quickly. You can generate your own key using WSL for production mode. Add the Fastify Passport Initialize plugin and Secure Session plugin. Next, we import the Google OAuth 2 plugin and add it to our authentication strategies with Fastify Passport.use. Getting our Google client ID from an environment variable, our client secret from an environment variable, and a callback URL for Google to send the OAuth 2 token details to. Finally, we make a function that handles the data once the profile is obtained. Usually, you would store the profile in a database. And just return no error and store the profile's ID in the cookie. But for simplicity, we'll store the user's entire profile in the cookie. We can get the client ID and secret from the Cloud Console. In the navigation menu, click APIs and Services. Then click on Credentials, click Create Credentials, then OAuth Client ID. Select Web Application. Add localhost 3000 as an authorized origin for testing. And our callback URI localhost 3000/auth/google/callback, and you'll get your OAuth client ID and client secret. Add a .env file to store the client ID and secret, and using the library.env, we can put the environment variables into process.env with .env.config. To set up the callback URL, we create a GET request on the callback route, using the Google strategy we defined earlier, with the OAuth scope profile for getting the user's basic Google profile. If the user is authenticated, we redirect the user to the home page. Now we can test it by visiting our callback URL. When we visit the raw URL, since there is no access token, it redirects us to the Google sign-in page. After signing in, Google redirects us to the callback URL. Fastify then uses the token to ask Google for account access. Google grants the permission and returns the profile. Then the verify function defined earlier gets called. Finally, Passport tries to serialize the value into a session cookie. Since we did not define a serializer, it throws an error. We can register a serializer to tell Fastify how the value should be stored in the cookie, and rerun our code. After logging in, you may realize that no cookie has appeared. This is because Secure Session only sets the cookie for the URL it was obtained on, which is auth/google/callback. We can instead make it available everywhere by updating Fastify Secure Session. Now, if we rerun the app and log in, it says it can't deserialize the user, because it does not know what to do with the session details. We add a deserializer that converts cookie data into a user. For example, if our verify function only stored the user's ID in the session, then, when deserializing, we would need to get the user from the database. However, since we stored the whole user in the session, we just return the whole user. Now, in any of our routes, if the user is authenticated, we can obtain the user from request.user. If we visit the base URL, we are able to see a customized hello message. Finally, we can add two routes, one for logging in and one for logging out. And that's how you can set up Google OAuth 2 with Fastify. That's cool and all, but if you want to make a backend in 2 lines of code, you can check out our open source package, EzBackend. If that tickles your pickle, sign up for Alpha at the link in the description.